I'm having my one! Hearken, fellow explorers, gather round the long fire where tales are told, runes are cast, and cunning is measured not by the sword, but by the board. From distant fjords and storm-tossed seas come three champions of play. I'm Paul, and I'm joined by my fellow Norseman, Tom the Boneless, and
Knarr! Sorry.
sorry, and Rhys I one side.
Yippee!
Together we embark on a quest most sacred, a feast of laughter, strategy, and glory, known across the land as the I'm Having My One podcast.
I was going to do the same noise as you, Tom, and then
It's a famous like Danish phrase.
I just I just couldn't copy you, so I had to go with yippee instead. Not very Viking, but
Well, we don't really know. They might have
I
charged
reckon I
battle.
reckon they had some yippees in them.
Yippee!
Yeah.
Knarr is a 2 to 4 player game designed by Thomas Dupont and published by Bombyx. In Knarr, you take on the role of a Viking leader, guiding your clan across distant seas, recruiting skilled companions, trading with far-off cultures, and sending your explorers to claim new lands. Every choice strengthens your reputation, and only the most renowned chieftain will earn their place in the sagas. This is a quick-to-play, small box game with enough tactics for lots of replayability. Boys, we've had a couple of games now. It's a game I've had on my wish list for a long time. I'm glad I've got, and I was like, right, we've got to play it. So, how have you found it?
Well, whenever
Right.
I've played with Rhys, I've found it very, very dispiriting. Particularly our last game, where I we'd been playing for about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then I realized, hang on a minute, I'm only on 5 points or something here, and Rhys and Paul are all the way around the other side of the board. That was the most ridiculous quick game.
Yeah, very quick.
I mean, it's not a long game anyway, right? It's normally going to be, what, half an hour or something
20
tops.
minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
That must have
Yeah.
taken 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that, I think.
If that, yeah.
Doesn't take long to lose, does it?
No, 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 no.
But this is it. Every game we've had has been very different, which is nice, which is what you want as
It's not
well.
been that different because you've just won.
There's something consistent about it in
Sure,
all
there's
three
that.
games.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But in the kind of play style, I don't know. I don't feel that there's like one tactic to win this game. You kind of just go with what's out on the cards and kind of change your tactics accordingly. And I think out of the three games that we've played, I mean, all three games I've played very, very differently. I don't know about you guys, what you think of that.
Yeah, I think you definitely respond to what's in front of you. And actually, do you know what? I think I won one game actually. Did we play one on BGA that I won? I'm going to say I did. I
I
won
don't
one.
remember that.
I can see on BGG I've
Don't-
played it 5 times, so one of those is probably a win. I'm going to count it. I'll just have to look on BGA. It'll be fun. Anyway, yeah, it's
Frantic.
def
It's not about the winning, it's about the taking part.
yeah, no, absolutely,
It's not about the
definitely.
winning, it's about the winning. Sorry.
Oh,
That should be the
nice.
tagline.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyway,
Um,
yes, it's a very varied game insofar as you're responding to the cards that are in front of you, right? Whether it's the cards that are the Vikings that you're trying to recruit, or it's the expeditions that you can send your guys out on. Um,
so
there's
let's discuss the recruiting first. So
yeah, cool.
on your turn, you've got two options. You can recruit, which is to add players to your little play area, or you can explore, which is usually spend those players to take some distant lands and get yourself some big points. So, Tom, do you want to take us through the recruiting first?
Yeah, so the have the different suits of cards, which is very simply different colors, right?
Yep.
I'll say now the point that you said to us first time we played very nicely. They do put little symbols on the cards as well for those of us who are colorblind. Just helps out on that front. And anyway, so on your turn, you can play your card. So you going to have three cards in front of you. You can play one of those, and then you can then get the benefits of those. So it may be that they've got a helmet on them, which will be a bit of kind of like a joker that you can use when you don't have the right card that you need, or it'll have a way of getting prestige, which maybe we'll talk about in a minute. It's called prestige, I think it is. And
Reputation.
then reputation, okay. Or you can collect the bracelets, which you can do for trading, which again, maybe we'll talk about in a minute. So you get those, and then you can choose from a set of five cards that are kind of like the market, if you like. You can pick the one which is from the same suit. So there are five slots on these which match the card color that you've played. So you can either take the card that is in that slot. So I may have played a red card, and that then gives me access to the cards in the red slot, as it were. But that could be any one of the other color cards that have been put into it. If I don't want that one for whatever reason, because the game is all about combos and kind of building up your cards that are going to suit whatever tactic that you're going to take, you can chuck away one of those helmets that I was talking about as one of the benefits that you can get to be able to take one of the other four cards that are available.
Very nice. And all the time as you're, let's say, scoring your victory points, you're doing that kind of in real time around a board, and you're looking to hit 40 VP, the first person to do that. By the time everyone has played their cards each, whoever's then got the furthest round past 40. Sorry, everyone's had the same amount of turns, that's what I'm trying to say. Then whoever gets the furthest, they win. So it's nice and simple like that. So that's the recruit action. Rhys, do you want to cover then the explore action?
So yeah, the explore action is a set of, I think you've got two sets. You've got green row and a blue row, is that right?
Yes.
And so the lower green row, you'll have three distant lands that you can buy. They all have a card cost to them, usually between kind of 2 and maybe 5 or 6 cards that you have to pay from your kind of tableau. And if you can't pay those exact cards, you can use helmets. So the jokers that Tom mentioned earlier, you can kind of use those as well to buy them. And the green ones are the kind of cheaper ones, but they tend to give you a bit more stuff. And then the blue ones are kind of more expensive, but they give you higher victory points. So there's that kind of timing of early game. You're usually going for kind of the lower green ones because they're cheaper and they give you more stuff to kind of build up and kind of get your engine working a little bit better. And then kind of end game, you're kind of trying to hit the big ones just to score those big points and push you over that 40-point line.
Yeah.
And it is the best looking bit of the game, right? Where this particular thing, I'm sorry, am I stealing your thunder, Paul? Did you want to
No,
describe this?
you carry on. I was gonna.
So you have your little player map, which is a little Viking ship, and you've got your little symbol on it. And at the top of it, it's got these three sort of runic lines that seem to be coming out at the top. First,
Oh,
you get the game,
so
you go,
good.
"Oh, what's all this about? It's just looking pretty." But no, these are where the expeditions come in. So you can put those on top, and you'd line up the those runic paths, and they will give you then the benefits that you'll get from that. So by going on those expeditions, you start to build your engine a little bit that you um, will in future rounds be able to trade against and get benefits of the same type that we've been talking about. But it just the way it all lines up is just it's so simple and dumb, really. But
It looks pretty.
it looks pretty.
It does. I love it. And I guess they're three different trade routes, right? And you
Oh,
use your
oh,
bracelets.
there you go.
You can collect 1 to 3 bracelets, and if you just want to collect on trade route 1, you can do that, or you can collect on 2 or 3 as well. So yeah,
Mm.
really nice, very pretty.
And what you find, or at least what I find in this game, is kind of in terms of victory point scoring, it starts off quite slowly because you don't have much stuff, you don't have many cards out. But as you then build up, you start to score points a lot quicker, and then the game kind of really starts to accelerate. And
Hmm.
I think that's it. It then feels like a real race to the finish line, or race to not be so far behind Rhys when he inevitably wins. Um, you've also got these reputation points, which
Yeah.
give you kind of no immediate benefit, but as you gain them over the course of the game, you unlock points that essentially, when you start your turn, you immediately get one up to five victory points. So if very early on in the game you can get loads of reputation points, you've also got this constant ticking over of points just coming in to keep you moving.
And it feels like that is the most obvious way to uh I say most obvious way. I didn't actually clock that straight away during our first game, but Reece clearly did, and then won by getting loads of reputation, I think. But um, having played 5 times, it's obvious enough now to me that that seems like the way to be able to move forward relatively quickly if you make the cards work. But going back to your point before, Reece, I think, right, is that it isn't the only way. And having seen you win 3 times now, I've seen you do it in different ways, of just collecting the victory points through other ways or through a combination of ways is the way is the way that you can do it. But there are times where you've got to respond on the fact that maybe those symbols aren't available to you, right? Whether through the market or through the expeditions that you've got available, you've got to shift and maybe go down more the route of just collecting the victory point cards or doing the things that allow you to play additional cards as well, which is cool. That's good.
Yeah, I think big thing of this is just the luck of those green distant land cards that come out, and whether you can get a really good one early on. You know, I got one quite early on that just had 3 victory points along the bottom. That essentially meant whenever I did a 3 trade route on top of other destination cards that I'd got, I'd be scoring at least 3 points. And I think by the end of it, when I was doing the 3 trade routes, I was getting about 8 points, which is why I was, so far ahead of you, Tom, and Paul. I'm guessing you were doing a similar thing, or I wasn't really tracking what was happening on your side. But
Too busy,
um, sorry,
you're too busy winning.
too busy winning, just involved in the game. But interesting, our first game, exactly that. I got a lot of the I've just got prestige in my head, but that's not the right word, Paul.
Reputation.
Reputation. I just happened to start with reputation cards that gave me a reputation. I thought, okay, well, let's double down on this. And, every time if I've got 2 yellow cards that have, reputation assigned to them, every time I play a yellow, I'm going to go up at least 2 on that track. So I was kind of doubling down on yellows just to kind of get as much reputation, and that kind of carried me around. This time I didn't start with that at all, and you use a different kind of tactic. And I think the second game we played, it was one of the green destination cards that came out. It just on the first trade route, it allowed you to add a random card
Yeah.
from the draw pile to your tableau, on just one trade bracelet. So it just kind of allowed me to just constantly just chuck loads of cards in. So that's why I kind of said, every game we've had has been totally different, because it has. It's just, it feels like there's a lot of different ways that you can win this game, and it's just about trying to work out, the most efficient way and the best way of you doing it.
Yeah. And then it's only meant as a quick game. There is enough variation because you have to kind of play the destinations and the recruits that are put in front of you. But also then there's the addition of an artifact card. So there's 7 cards, and you just draw one at the start of the game, and it just adds a small little rule
Right.
that will also affect the game. So it's kind of constantly changing. There's something different to think about every time, and I quite enjoy the artifact cards. Um, Paid off for me quite early on because the artifact card in the game we just played is if you had one of every color out, you could also explore on the same turn you recruited, which
I didn't even look at
didn't need to, but
that.
it got me quite a good card very early on because I
Yeah.
was essentially able to do two things, but I then couldn't quite get the cards I needed to make it work a second time. But yeah, I was happy with that.
Yeah. We did get into that situation in that game, which I think was the one you were t describing, Reese, where you were getting lots of cards all the time, where we did just get to a kind of stalemate with it, or certainly I was in a position
Yeah.
where there was not much I could do. And it is something that as I've been thinking about this game and thinking about the score and, do I want to get this game? The capacity to get into that situation does just take a little shine off it because I think it gets into the realm of thinking, well, this is actually to the point where that's not much fun when I can't do anything to affect it. Now,
Yeah.
I think probably being more experienced in the game, that maybe that is something that happens every now and again, and there are ways that you can force a player who's just collecting all the cards to have to abandon some, right? And maybe we where the Paul and I were playing, we've not just been smart enough to kind of force you into that. We were just dealing with what was in front of us. But and maybe that just needs a bit of explaining about what happened is that there is this finite deck, right, of cards. Of course, it's finite.
An infinite,
Infinite cards. Um,
a huge box.
it's a small box, but it's really tall. And the as you're playing the cards out, you are not initially obliged to be throwing anything away. It's not sort of a pick one up, discard one sort of situation. So when you run out of the cards from the deck to draw from for the market, you then flip over discard cards, and then you're drawing from those. But if those also run out, you're then in a situation where when you place a card, you also then have to throw away a card if there are not any to then replace the market with as part of that place a card, pick up a card action. And that's where we got to, where you had not discarded very many cards at all because you had, I guess, a nice engine running that you were just
I
placing the
was
cards down and
just
able to
hoarding them.
get loads of
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
Is that we just got stuck in that point. So I don't know this much you guys thought about that, but it's just something that just took a shine off it because I thought, well, you could sort of play that every time in theory, and that would be very difficult to play against.
I think it was very situational. It was just because of that one destination card that I'd managed to get early game that allowed you to just add a random card to your tableau on a one trade route.
Hmm.
I think most, having played it a few times, most of the green cards have that, add a random card on the second or third trade route. I think that was quite a rare card. I imagine there's, not many like that. So I don't know. I think it's a
I think that'd be
situational
pretty
thing.
rare. Yeah. Okay. Fair
I
enough.
I,
Fair enough.
I reckon so.
I've played this game a lot, and that's kind of the only time it's come up. And thinking about it, where you and I were maybe trying to trade in for destinations, because if there's no recruits to draw to fill the market deck, you have to pay one back. And so you and I were both avoiding that because we didn't want to feel the negative. But actually, if we had maybe done that a couple of times, then it forces Rhys to buy some more destinations and
And that would inevitably then free up more cards. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. So maybe it's unfair to be too critical over it. It just sort of got into a place where like, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. And we know we kind of play a game and it's a short game and it doesn't work out well, you just play another one. It's fine. But I just thought maybe for some people that might be a problem. But if we're saying it's pretty rare, and actually, if you know that that's a thing, there are ways of dealing with that, then as you described, Paul, then maybe it's just not a big deal.
I've played this game 25 plus times, and
Have you really?
it's happened. So yeah.
Mm.
Uh,
I
It's a
think
bit,
what
bit kind of under the radar this game last year as well,
yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
did.
Kind of
I
one of
think
those
maybe
that
some.
maybe deserved a bit more attention than it got.
I think so. Yeah, I think for a small box, quick, you know, let's maybe a filler game type thing. Yeah, I think it deserves more. I think it is a better game than maybe some people have. It hasn't got a huge amount of publicity. I don't.
No, I sort of remember. I'm sorry, maybe it was 2 years ago rather than last year, but um, I vaguely remember some stuff coming out about it, and somebody keeps an eye on what's around, what's hitting the shelves, and so on. It's got quite a striking artwork, so that's probably why it's sort of stuck in the memory. But yeah, it isn't one that maybe people care about. But maybe that is a bit of the industry overall of board games is that it's people care about the big stuff, right? That people at the moment have been hyped about games like Fate of the Fellowship and stuff that's got big table presence and obviously big IP attached to it as well. And that's maybe what gets the attention. And some of these smaller box games go a little bit under the radar. I don't know if this is completely true because then you look at something like Flip 7, which has had a lot of attention, but perhaps that's why stuff like this maybe goes a bit under the radar.
yeah, it's that kind of slightly more complex, kind of quick filler, right? But I mean, I like it. It's got the mechanics of it, and even the simplicity of the colored columns you were talking about earlier, Tom,
Yeah.
where you play a card and then you can take the card from the column that you've played for free, or pay a helmet to take one of the others. It's just a really juicy decision. It's like, oh, shall I, I actually really want that card that's in the blue column. I've got a blue card. I don't really want to play it, but maybe I should. I've got to play it at some point, so maybe I should play that just so I can pick up that blue column card that I
Mm.
really want. Um, so even that little mechanic it's just nice. I just feel it's a really tight, kind of well thought out game. Um,
I
perfect,
had
perfect little filler.
a lovely proud moment where after playing it a couple of times with my wife and chatting to her about it, and I was saying like, it's it's a little bit like Splendor, where you're trying to collect sets of colors and then use those colors to pay for something else that is going to give you victory points.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she said, "Shut up, you nerd. Only you would think of something like that." And the real proud moment was like a couple of days later, we were talking about playing it, and Elijah was like, "Yeah, I really like playing this game. It's a bit like Splendor." I was like,
Good lad.
Tom,
That's my boy.
you mentioned the artwork. The artwork is gorgeous on this.
Yeah,
It
yeah, it really
is. It
is.
is. Yeah. The box very striking. In the blue, the Viking and on the night with the night sky against him looks very cool. But all of it, it's all carried through and then the whole thing. It just looks beautiful. The artwork that's been done on
They,
this
they've judged it right, haven't
been been brilliant. It's the artist Antoine Carrion. Just have a quick look at what else they've done. But yeah, it's really good. This is the only thing that they're linked to, I think. Yeah, the
they?
only one. Yeah, very good, very good.
Well, they
Future
should keep
ahead
doing
for
some
them,
more.
hopefully. Yeah,
If that's their start, they should do some more.
yeah, but it's very cool,
Definitely.
very thematic, and not in an exaggerated Vikings kind of way. It's all runes and bearded chaps and so on, right?
But it all fits though, right? It's you've got your reputation track. Is that the right one?
Yeah.
Reputation?
Yep.
You got your reputation, for being the most fierce Viking. You've got your destinations, your trade routes. I like it. I think it's themed really well and it all kind of slots in nicely. And it is just the colors on it are beautiful. They're not garish at all. They're just really nice,
Yeah.
kind of strong, bold colors, but just really nice colors.
Yeah, and fits in a small box, packs down nicely.
How many players does it go to?
Up to 4, 2 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you're limited. Do you have less cards in a two-player game?
Yeah. You just
And
take
then
set. So the cards have a little marking whether they're for 2,
right,
4 player, and you just remove the ones that you're not playing as.
gotcha,
Just
gotcha.
balance it out, which
Yeah, makes
again
sense.
is a great little addition because other games perhaps don't always consider that, and so but I found playing at 2, playing at 3, playing at 4, it's got the same amount of balancing, I think, personally.
Mm. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So do we need to? Well, first off, we should talk about price. You can pick it up for less than 25 quids. So 23 pounds ish on Chaos Cards at the moment.
Yep.
Um, um, it's not, I think, because it came a bit under the radar, it's not the most widely available game. You can find it in stock in places, but shops don't seem to be stocking like tens of copies, hundreds of copies of it. But you can pick it up. I didn't have it.
This review can change that.
Yeah.
Go on, listener, go out and buy 100 copies.
Put yourself on the wish list for that game. All the retailers will buy it, and mostly Chaos Cards.
So we should move on then. Let's do some scoring. Let's start with you, Tom. Tom, because you've
Well, I was really hoping you weren't going to do me first.
let's start with you, Rhys.
Oh man, I was really hoping you'd do Tom first.
So
I'll
I
ta
will give this game.
Go on. Yeah, do
Go on,
you
start us
first?
off. This was
Why
this was
not?
your choice.
Why
You
not?
go
This
We
was
don't
first.
your
normally
choice.
do this, but
No, host
Yeah.
goes first.
I feel very uncomfortable about this, but might just be because I ate my big bowl of pasta too quickly before we recorded. I have given this game an 8. For the type of game it is, I think it's brilliant. I really like this game. I think there's enough variety. I think there's enough replayability. I think it hits the mark for people that don't want to play, people like my wife who don't want to play long games but want something where you have to think. And also people that maybe just want a quick filler before they're going into something a bit more weighty. I think this kind of fits in lots of categories.
Mm.
Plus the artwork, I think it's brilliant. So that's why I'll be giving it an 8.
Good.
So Tom, what about you? What would you give it?
So I'm denied about this. I was starting out somewhere around a 7, maybe even 6.5 on this because of the game that we had where we got a bit stuck as a
We
as,
got a bit
as
stuck. Reese didn't get
well,
stuck.
okay, yeah, you and I got a bit stuck, and I thought, well, maybe that's the problem, but it just looks so good, and the what we were saying earlier about the variety of the games is really true, and that has brought the score up for me a bit. So I'm going to leave it on a 7.5. I think it's probably better than a 7.5, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Respectable score.
Reese.
So I think I'm with you, Paul. It's a really good game. I'd love to play it more. Um, every game has been a bit different.
Yeah.
It's got really nice decisions, and you do have to think about it. You find yourself kind of going, right, wait, I've kind of learned something in every game that I've played. And for such a small, simple game, that's quite a nice thing to have. Um, and I can see, you've said you've played it about 25 times. I can see myself being happy playing this, you know, fairly regularly as just a little a little filler. Artwork's superb. And it's quick. So in that category of just quick filler games, I think it's definitely up there. I'm even going to go as far to say as giving it an 8.5.
Oh, 0.5.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it deserves it. It's just tight and very enjoyable.
And that gives it a podcast score of an 8, which is, I think, very, very good. The one thing I actually hadn't even mentioned as well, which not all games do, is in the rule book, the first page is just a forward about the history of trading Vikings.
There you go.
Stuff, bit of content, a bit of filler, a bit of more information, I think is always welcome. Bit of learning, bit of history. So
What did they trade? Fists for gold.
fists, yes, I will give you the end of this sword. If you give me your women and your money and the goats.
Steady now, Paul.
I didn't know where you were going to go.
I didn't know where I was going to go, and I had to put the
I
brakes
could
on.
see it all
I
over
know.
your face.
I know.
Watch the YouTube, listener, the expression of panic.
This bit might not, but I don't think this bit's going in.
No.
So that is Knarr. That is our feelings on Knarr. It's a very good game. You can pick it up so cheap. So please have a look at it. Please do. Otherwise, it's on Board Game Arena, and there's a workshop mod on Tabletop Simulator, so you can get yourself a game of it, or come speak to one of us because we'll happily play it with you. Don't play with Rhys though. Like play with at first on easy mode.
Play with Tom.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get you used to the game. Then, well, yeah, start with me, get you used to it, migrate to Paul. Then once you've beaten Paul, you can go for the real challenge.
Oh
Although
dear.
the first time we taught Rhys, he smashed us, and then the first time we taught Seb, he also smashed us. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so unfortunate for Seb that he couldn't join us this evening when he was so proud that he won that game, and that meant that he was going to claim the podcast game win. But unfortunately, we've had one more game since then. Oh
Oh, have I
no!
taken
going
have I
on,
taken the
And
podcast win from him?
also,
yeah,
oh
Wow.
dear,
Sorry, Seb.
I
that's
have
what you get for caring about your family and looking after your children.
Sorry, not sorry,
exactly
Seb. How many podcast wins has Seb got?
two, I think. That's
Two.
even worse than me. The ratio, however, let's not get into that.
Let's not.
It's a real shame we've also played another game because actually I did look and I won a game of Knarr more recently than Seb. So if we hadn't played it again, I would have been the podcast game winner.
Sorry,
I feel
guys.
it's deserved for Rhys because he's.
Yeah, absolutely smashed us every time.
I'm glad I
Uh,
went out and bought this game, and I've like never won it.
no,
Think I've won like one game in the 25 that I've played.
really, God. So
Maybe
it's a
two
good game
games.
though. It's a good game.
I
And
thought you were going to say, God, it's a really easy game, Paul. Come
no, no, no.
on.
I think honestly, I think a lot of it is just the luck of the cards coming out. Like we said, it's just timing those destination
There's
cards,
an
or
element of that, sure.
there's all, if you get a
I
good
think I've got
hand at the start.
the longer get. I think clearly 20 minutes is what I need to actually get going in a game before.
Yeah, that's a good excuse. Yeah, the cogs are just starting to roll by the time. Reese
Uh,
is a well-oiled machine, ready to go. Ignition.
I don't know. I'm winning a lot at the moment. I don't know why.
No, Seb's going to be
It's
so unhappy about
Yeah. I mean, that's why.
it.
Maybe that's the motivation.
It's all any of us need.
It's not actually caring
Seb's
about
anger.
winning. It's just annoying Seb. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Good.
So we are sponsored as always by Chaos Cards. We love Chaos Cards. It's a great shop. And I think they provide really good service, which is why we kind of went into this partnership. It's a company we've used beforehand, so we are not recommending it because we want to gain something. We recommend it because we genuinely think they're the best board game retailer out there, and you should check them out. We quite often have nice discount codes for you to get some, a few extra quid off of your game. It's usually £5 off of a £50 spend, which is not insignificant. And by then, if you're spending £50, it's free delivery as well. So you might as well try and hit that. If you want to see what our latest code is, check out us on Instagram or Blue Sky, and they will be in the description for this episode. And we will pin our code to however it pins in Instagram and Blue Sky. Can you tell I don't do the socials?
You do pin it. You do pin it. Yeah.
I started using the term pin it. I was like, is that the term? I feel I went in too confident on pin it.
Oh, you did. Well, as far as I know. So, yeah.
Nice. Good. It's a good thing we're so techie, right? That's it. That's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening, for getting this far through. Please give us a rating, 5-star preferably, on Apple Music and on Spotify. Give us a thumbs up and a subscribe on YouTube, all of those things. And tell your friends about us. Get them listening as well, because we're great. And
they'll thank you.
Yeah, they will thank you for listening to us middle-aged men wittering on for about 40 minutes.
Has it really been 40 minutes?
We've been talking about Knarr for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, here we're very good if people can't get to sleep at night.
To get that ASMR stuff, I'm having one podcast.
There you go.
Insomnia cure.
Yeah.
All right, to know we're useful for something.
Still talking. What we're going to do is just keep rambling.
Keep going.
Loads of stuff. We'll just generally fade out, and you just don't know when it will stop. But it might
just like a classic 80s record fade.
Exactly. You might go to sleep. You might just phase out, or we might
wake up at this point.
Oh, it's turning into an 80s fade out. It's turning into a Rick Wakeman piano. So. I'm having my one.